of course, by me, Rafiki Simone. We're going to get right into it. We're not going to waste any time. Planet 4 is Mercury. Let's talk about Mercury. Now, y'all know about Mercury, right? Fast, quick, kind of like swift, that kind of thing. But let's see what other systems is involved with it. Let's see. You see the planetary symbol is it looks like devil horns, right? Yeah. I don't know why they would put that like that, but hey, it works. You can make sigils out of these planetary symbols, by the way. I just want to make sure that y'all understand that. I didn't make myself clear in the first three that what I did so far, but you can make sigils out of the planetary symbols. This is the reason why I'm showing y'all planetary symbols. The Hebrew name for Mercury is Kokab. The divine mind of Mercury in Kabbalah is the word Had, which means splendor. Okay. The characteristics of Mercury. Let's see. Let's check them out. The mind, communication, language, intellect, reason, quick movement, commerce, travel, logic, technology, quick action. You can also use these characteristics as keywords for spells as well. You want to incorporate them in anything that you write. Like I petition whoever or whatever deity or whatever energy you're working with for the quick action of blank, okay? Or the communication between me and blank to be clear. You want to use those keywords that I just showed y'all, the characteristics, which is also the keywords for spells. I will no longer be putting them at the end of this video. All right, so that's very instrumental that you pay attention to that. Mercury deities. Now, this is going to get interesting. Of course, we know Hermes, right? He is the Greek god of communication and healing, but we also see him all the time, like as the Flash. He's also the comic book character Quicksilver, that kind of thing. You know, the god of communication and healing, Hermes. It's gonna get interesting. The reason why I'm saying it's gonna get interesting is because I actually kept somebody out. I did. I kept somebody out of this that was a god because it was a repeat. Um, it was what we know as Thoth, but it was Tahuti. And Thoth is also underneath Mercury, as well as another planet that we covered. Okay, let's go to the next energy here. It's going to be interesting because one I work with very well. This is Mercurius. Sounds like somebody's name, right? Divine messenger. He's a Roman trickster god, keeper of business and commerce. You can think of him like another form of an Eshu. Mercurius is definitely quick and keeps you curious, and that's not by no shade or no tea. I've worked with this deity probably twice. I know once for sure, but twice I can't really quite remember what I was petitioning him for. That's kind of the reason why I'm up in the air. But the first time I actually worked with Mercurius, he has a very sporadic energy, very all over the place energy. I do know that he made me a bit nervous, which is one of the reasons why I would not be working with him again. But he did get stuff done, but it was like this jittery energy behind him. I really didn't care for it. And it reminded me of the SU energy, a specific type of SU energy, because there's more than one type of SU. Okay, I want y'all to know that. Okay, the third energy that we're working with now. This is interesting. Nabu, Nabu, aka Tutu. He's a Babylonian god and a divine scribe. Now, Nabu was the son of Marduk. And you know Marduk, if you know Babylonian mythology, Marduk was supposed to be like this real hardcore god, right? Because Mercury rules water, and Marduk is also water energy. Nabu is also water as well. Okay, The next one is that this is interesting about Nabu. He has the ability to increase or decrease a person's lifespan, which is one of the reasons why it's kind of, and he does rule over arts and divination, but this is one of the reasons why he's a bit not tricky to work with, but you want to make sure that when you petition him, you have to be specific, right? So let's say, for example, you have someone sickly and you want to petition Nabu for a lifespan, right? For someone you love. Doesn't necessarily mean he's going to grant it, but you want to be extremely specific in the wordings that you're using, right? Because Nabu will not override a person's will to live or to die, right? He won't. Now, you can petition Hermes on top of Nabu or Tutu to actually have some form of communication. Again, you'll be working with, and I know I'm ahead of myself here, the Archangel Gabriel, right, to send a divine message, especially if it's not that person's time, but they're kind of like wanting to leave early, that kind of thing, or if they have more things to do and they're not quite done yet with their mission on this earth, you can petition Nabu. But I do also suggest, as you're petitioning Nabu, to have him work alongside of another energy like Gabriel, so that it can be a more graceful energy that will come through and try to help the mind of that person be changed, right? But again, the will cannot be overridden. Some people want to leave, and that's just what it is. I know it's crazy, but he also rules over divination. He does really well in divination. I really do like the energy of him in divination, but um, I noticed that he's very not stern, but very starch, right? So he may not be a cup of tea. Now, the next deity. Oh yes, he's also known as the director of the world. Nabu is also known as the director of the world. You know, life is a stage. Well, Nabu is the director. He's also the son of Ea, right? That's where we get into the Anunnaki stuff. But yeah. Mm. Next is Ganesh. Some people say Ganesh. Some people say Ganesha. This is the Hindu Lord of Wisdom. I specifically love working with Ganesh. And listen, prosperity is something that Ganesh is really really good at, right? So let's see what is the details of Ganesh. All right, so Ganesh clears obstacles. I'm sitting outside right now, by the way, so you might hear some wind in the background. Ganesh is known for clearing obstacles, barriers. Though he is ruled by Mercury, he deals greatly in fortune and prosperity, right? Because we know Jupiter is fortune, prosperity, expansion, that kind of thing. But Ganesh is really good to work with in the hour of Jupiter on the day of Mars. I'm sorry, Mercury. Please forgive me for that too. Jesus. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. I don't know. Like it's Wednesday is Mercury. So this would be Wednesday in the hour of Jupiter, right? And again, I'll include the time frames here for you in a later setting. Ganesh statues, like you have the small statues or the larger ones, it really doesn't matter. But you want to put them in the northeast corner of the home. Okay, you want to put them in the northeast east corner of the home. And if you bought that life, you want to get you like a small battery operated fountain, or you have like some form of running water in the northeast section of your home. It's always good to have that statue by. There is an airplane flying over. Hold on, let me mute. Yes, sorry about that, y'all. Just can't control what's happening above me. Yeah, so the white Ganesh. if you come across different statues, they're going to have different colors. My two main concerns are white and red, right? The white Ganesh is for money and prosperity. The red one is going to be for like spiritual growth, spiritual wisdom, spiritual downloads, spiritual uploads, that kind of thing. You want to make sure you keep that. Ganesh, you can actually petition him on any day of the week. You can work with Ganesh. He is the son of Shiva. And in some Hindu folklore, Shiva, he killed his own son Ganesh, right? Well, I mean, again, in some folklore, I still work with Ganesh. I love the energy of Ganesh. I actually like to keep, like, you know, those Asian gold coins with the little cut out square in the middle. I like actually putting some of those around, or somewhere where I can like kind of sit them on in the statue. I like that because I like to actually like give him an offering of coins. He likes coins, right? So especially gold. Anything gold you can give him. If you want to sit him on the inside of a plant that is growing, you can do that as well, and put some, coins on the inside of that as well. If you don't have those Chinese or Asian gold coins, you can just, use just regular money coins that we have around us. Okay. Let's talk about the animals of Mercury. We have a zebra, which I think is beautiful. We have cheetah. So it's going to be a lot of fast animals, preys and predators. Okay. What you think is next? Gazelle. Beautiful, right? Look how beautiful. The body of that gazelle is so gorgeous. Those horns are gorgeous. Baboon. This is where wisdom comes in, swiftness comes in, making decisions, communicating correctly comes in with the baboon energy. Oh, there's a bee. There's a bee flying around me. Jackal. Now, this is something to always keep in mind with the jackal and dealing with Mercury. You're always going to have trickster energy somewhere. Okay, not anything that you can't get around. It's not something you can get around. But at the same time, don't be so hesitant to work with the energy of Mercury, because at the end of the day, it still moves quick, still moves swift. The deities that is allotted with or coupled with Mercury works swift, and they do get the job done at the end of the day. A lot of y'all are just so extremely cautious about trickster energy. Listen, trickster energy does not necessarily mean trying to teach you a lesson in a harsh way. When you hear trickster, it's always in a negative connotation. Actually, trickster energy will work in your favor because it could actually trick somebody into helping you, right? Let's say you need information to start a specific type of business. It's been hard for you to get in touch with people that you know are successful in that business, and you want to get pointers from them, right? They actually might, the energy of Mercury might actually come through and trick them into helping you. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Another word, trick, again, is a negative connotation. But what if that person's heart is just suddenly moved upon for them to just give you all of their tea so that you can be successful as well? You got to take it as it comes, right? So don't necessarily be, cautious about working with trickster energy. Works in your favor, I promise you. Next, we have ostrich. Extremely big energy. What you want to keep in mind with ostrich is just not the swiftness and not the feathers of it, but you also want to take into account of the feet, right? So ostrich, the way that they fight is just not only like biting you with their beaks or plucking you with their beaks, it's also kicking. An ostrich has been known to kick a human person and actually open up the stomach of a person and make a laceration so huge that the intestines of a person can actually fall out. All right. So you want to use ostrich energy to break through obstacles and any kind of blockages and air, anything that's blocking you from moving. So if you are doing road work, road opener work, on the day of Mercury, which is Wednesday, you want to also incorporate some form of ostrich, right? You can look up ostrich feathers. You can buy them online, keep them on your altar, that kind of thing. You want to use the energy and the fighting mechanisms of the ostrich to break through shit, right? And I've done it. I won't tell you anything that I have not done. And if I have not done anything and I speak on it, it's because I'm close to someone who's done it or I've seen someone else do the work. Okay. Works, of course, butterflies, right? Giving, taking, bringing, receiving, giving, that kind of thing. Um, they're really good at spreading pollen around, also as bees, but butterflies because they bring a transformational change and it's quick change. So think of like the sun coupled with the death card, which is not bad energy at all. So we're talking about the throat chakra here. Throat chakra. All right, located in the front of the neck, the throat chakra is responsible for communication and self-expression. The throat wheel is physically responsible for the thyroid gland, the mouth, the larynx, and the throat. And the larynx is basically the talking box. So you have laryngitis, people who can't speak. It's just the inflammation of the throat box, of the voice box. Throat chakra imbalances includes TMJ. You know what TMJ is? Well, it's like, think about it like this: when you open up your mouth, and like, let's say you open up your jaw as wide as you can, and when you close it, if it does that, like if it hurts or does like that shaking thing as you're closing it, that's TMJ. Mouth ulcers, being timidity, speaking lies, not telling the truth, or having falsities is something that's an imbalance. Having trouble speaking or the fear of speaking includes issues with the thyroid, so or the throat chakra, right? Which means it's not opened. It's not opened. It's closed. Okay, issues with thyroid is also an indication of either it being blocked or overactive, right? So you have like overactive thyroids, underactive thyroids. That can definitely be an issue. Herbs, trees, and other plants that are associated with the planet Mercury. We have almond here, aspen trees, and you can also gather these things too, right? So let me give you an idea. Um, one spell that would work if you know you have problems speaking, what you want to do is what I like to call is planetary prayers. You can make this up. It's not rocket science. It's not hard. You can actually speak or write the sigil or the planetary symbol and put almonds on top of that symbol and actually um, help. It'll help you if you when you eat them when it's time for you to speak. Chew one. You can wash it down with water. I don't know if y'all are like me. I get dry mouth when I eat almonds for whatever reason, right? So you can use that as a means to help you speak if you have issues or nervousness with speaking in a public setting, that kind of thing, or just speaking your truth. You got a family meeting, somebody did you wrong, and you want to speak your truth. You want to get justice on the situation. You want to use that as a means, right? Aspen trees also brings transformational change. Mulberries. You can also use blackberries as a substitute. In the substitution of mulberries works the same. Again, eating. You also this is kind of more like a fruitful arena. So you want prosperity, that kind of thing. You After you do like prosperity spells, you want to get you some blackberries or mulberries and eat them. Okay, magnolia. Yes, for everybody who's down south, especially Louisiana, magnolia. You want to keep magnolia trees or magnolia leaf petals on your altar as a fragrant offering. Okay, pistachios are really good as well. If you don't have almonds, you don't like almonds, you can also do pistachios for the same thing. Lavender is really good to keep around quick communication or things just you want things to flow correctly. You want to keep lavender. Lavender actually is also good for roll opener spells, believe it or not. Okay. I'm giving y'all all this information so that y'all can be able to tailor your own spells. A lot of people are on, and again, this planetary magic is all about getting things together so that you can be able to put your own shit together to see what works for you, and not oh Lord, this be and not just to be bound by what somebody has. I know somebody just cracked up laughing, and not just to be bound by what you see. And you be like, okay, well, somebody on YouTube taught me to spell, but it doesn't work, because there's different strokes for different folks. This is what this planetary magic course is about. As I've said before, sandalwood is a really good incense to use. Real sandalwood is very expensive. You can use the sandalwood that you find in the store in its place. It'll do the same thing. Okay, the next thing is spikenard. Now, spikenard is not talked about as often, but spikenard is actually known as one of the herbs that was used to sit in the oil, to make the precious oil that was put in the alabaster box to dress Jesus with before he went to Calvary to give up his life, right? So spikenard is actually a very powerful um, um, herb to use, right? Because at the end of the day, when you're working with Mercury energy, you want something to happen quick, but you also want like some form of a transformational change as well, because you want something to go from a no to a go, right? A no to a yes. You want to go from obstacles to being obstacle free. Spikenard is that thing that you want to use. Okay, very simple. Bergamot is something that you also want to use as well. Bergamot, um, I actually, believe it or not, I put little drops of bergamot in my hair grease. I know that sounds like bergamot, that we use, but this actually, for me, whenever I want to have an idea, quick ideas, I usually like to just put a little bit of this, mix it in with my hair grease or my hair oil or even my conditioner, just to help me be quick on my thinking, right? Because it's not just the throat chakra. You wanna also have quick thinking, right? To be on top of your feet, ideas, that kind of thing. Clove. Want something quick, something easy, something to remove, you want to use clove. And of course, last but not least, something that people don't talk about often is coffee. I've been telling y'all this for the longest. If you want to do something quick, whatever you do, I don't care if it's love, money, health. I don't care if it's hexing. I don't care if it's cursing. I don't care if it's removing hexes, removing curses. You want to get some ground coffee. Get in a specifically ground coffee because it's grounded and it's ready to brew, right? So you want to put a little bit of coffee on top of that candle. You want to put a little coffee on top of that spell, on that in that spell work, right? You want to write something down to make some shit happen. You want to also just like you don't want to burn it, or you want to keep something by you, smear some fucking coffee on that shit. I'm telling you. Or what I like to do best, and this is listen, this is something that I do not share. I have not shared this with anybody. I'm gonna share it with y'all. I take regular pieces of paper. I don't care if it's lined paper or just blank paper, right? I will brew a cup of coffee. I would pour it in, like a one of those pans that you bake with, right? Those long rectangular pans, right? You take enough coffee, you boil it, you put it in there, and what I do is I take the pieces of paper and I put it in there and I stain it with the coffee. I stain it with coffee, with liquid coffee, and then I put it outside. I let it dry, or you can hang it if you got that kind of, like, if you are into photography, and you may be the person that has a clothesline. You can also do that. You got the clothesline with the clothespin. Put it out there to dry. Let it dry, and then write your petitions on this thing. Do you hear me? Write the petitions on it, but this is something that you want to keep. You don't want to burn this petition. You don't want to, it's not new moon, full moon. You want to keep it. Do you understand what I'm telling y'all? This is very important, especially when you want something to come through quickly. This is how you do it. All right? Let's go to the next slide. So metals, minerals, and gemstones. I only have two up here for y'all. It's quicksilver, aka mercury. There's two types of mercury. There's the kind that you cannot handle with your hands, and then there's the kind that you see people on YouTube with, especially if you're into science and you look up stuff like that, especially for your kids and your science projects or whatever. There's the kind that you can hold in your hand. It's not as poisonous, right? Then you have aluminum. Aluminum. So one of the things that I can tell y'all is, let's talk about using the art of writing, the magic of writing and paper to bring something forth, right? What you can do is actually take foil and you can burn that paper in the foil, ball it up, and you can throw it into like a moving river or throw it somewhere and go a different way than what you came to throw it away. You throw it at a crossroads. Mercury does deal with crossroads energy. This is like Elegba Elegwa energy, okay? Papa Legba energy. Mercury is that. So you always, when you're dealing with aluminum or foil and you want to put something in there and throw it away, doesn't matter if it's a petition you're doing or something you're trying to get rid of, you want to wrap it in aluminum foil. Again, the best day would be on Mercredi, which would be Wednesday. However, you can do it however you want to do it, right? And then from there, you can toss it and go a different way. This is either whether you're trying to get rid of something or not, it doesn't matter. But if you are dealing with crossroads energy and you want to make something come to you, you want to do 3 of the 4 crossroads. You don't want to do 4 points, right? So when you're getting rid of something at the crossroads, you want to cover all 4 points because you're closing it. You want it to stay there. Then you leave a different way in which you came to that crossroad, right? You want to make sure that it's far away from you as possible. But when it comes to you actually bringing in something to you, when it comes to prosperity and love, and you're dealing crossroad work and you want to do something in aluminum foil, you want to ball it up still. You want to go to the closest crossroads to you, and you want to drop a penny at each crossroad except for the last one because you want to leave it open so it could follow you home. So go the same way in which you came. Okay? That's a hack. Planetary health of Mercury. Believe it or not, Mercury is over the nervous system as well as mouth and throat function, right? That's something that you want to keep in mind. Taking vocal lessons is also going to help you open or balance the throat chakra. Even if you cannot sing, it's still good for you to do this, right? The throat and heart chakra has a direct connection as the respiratory and heart system does. You know, when we say drunk mind speak the sober truth. Well, in the heart of the person, therefore the mouth will speak. That kind of thing. Even when someone's angry, or remorseful of what they may have said afterwards, it really doesn't matter. This is what it comes down to. So when petitioning for health, Mercury is the way to go, because although Mercury is naturally a quick worker when it comes to health, all healing may not be necessarily quick. And the reason that being is because Mercury sometimes when it deals with health will not expedite the energy of quick healing, because the body most likely has to align in a specific way that does not have to do with quick time. Okay, that's like over time. If you got eye surgery, I'm just using the eye as an example. You got eye surgery, you may not heal as quickly, but slow and steady, it will come. Your vision will come back, that kind of thing. So you want to be able to make sure that you deal with that, right? That kind of way, because you can petition Mercury for that. As you can see here, Mercredi is the hour of 1 a.m. As I've told you before in the last videos, you can see that Mercury, if you do not want to go by, or you're not a morning person, you don't want to go by sunrise, the hour of Mercury usually starts at sunrise, okay? But if not, you can always use 1 a.m. as a focal point. And then the next one also shows you here, again, if you are not the person who is going by that kind of energy of sunrise, here at 1 p.m. would be the sun on a Wednesday, right? Well, because 12 to 1 p.m. is where the sun is highest in the sky. All right, so candle colors for, I'm sorry, I should say Mercury, but it says the sun up there, so forgive me. It's white, it's purple, blue, and red. Angels of Mercury, not supposed to be angels of the sun. Uh, Archangel Michael is definitely still listen, and Archangel Gabriel. So with Archangel Michael, he might fall under several planetary systems, which is fine. Of course, Gabriel is the one who heralds the communicator, that kind of thing. But Michael is what breaks shit up, right? This is the sword energy. You want to break the ostrich energy. You want to break all that shit up. So Michael does various things, y'all. Y'all are gonna see him more and more. So anyway, discussion time is, here. Get it popping below. Put some discussions between you and other students so that you can be able to speak on what you've gotten. If you're willing to share what you've put together. I've been checking the Patreon and I've been seeing y'all have been like inboxing me certain spells and stuff that y'all came up with. I think that y'all are doing a really dope job. So I just want to tell y'all to keep up the good work. And next is coming Jupiter, and I'm going to be uploading this right now.